Many challenges face us as a society, not just us, but global societies too. These challenges are very large. They're very, we're talking about big problems. Getting to a state where we've got ample energy supplied in a sustainable way, it's not something that we're going to do by deploying technology that we have now over the next 10 years. We're going to need entirely new technologies. One of the biggest issues that we in the West are facing is that our societies are getting older. And we know there are lots of very difficult diseases that come with old age. It's going to be a big challenge for us, I think, to make sure that the society we have is still able to make use of the talents of people who've been around a bit, and we don't end up with those people ending up dependent. If we start to think about, what are the technologies that will need to be deployed in 2030 or 2040, well, we don't even know what they are.
One of the most important elements of EPSRC strategy is making sure that we really do deliver impact.
Something that people used to say about British science was that we were very good at doing basic science and getting the Nobel Prizes, but we never translated that into products and services. And I think that's unfair. I don't think that's right. I think the record bears out the fact that actually UK science is very well engaged with industry. But there's a bit of scope for researchers to have a bit of help in understanding what the big issues are.
The impact that our research has, that knowledge transfer, as it used to be called, we originally achieved by having separate programs. It has now become such a routine element of all the research that we do that in fact we're going to embed it all the way through every element of research grant applications, of large-scale programs, of the training that we do. It is just a part of routine research that you not only develop new knowledge, but you think about where that knowledge can be applied.
One of the things I see that's critically important in translating research into industry, and I saw it when I worked at Rolls-Royce, was actually people recognising what the other environment was like. When you work on perhaps some quite esoteric bit of academic research, but that was applicable in industry, it was very easy to continue on down pathways that weren't actually delivering anything industry could use. They would be continuously coming to us and say they developed this really clever bit of software that would do something amazing in computational fluid dynamics or aerodynamics or whatever it was. And they didn't understand that we worked with enormously expensive company-wide integrated software systems. And however clever some little bit of software they designed was, you couldn't actually put it into our system without spending, an enormous amount of money. To understand the challenges of implementing ideas for real can be enormously helpful in making sure our research actually delivers for moving the country forward.
I don't really accept that there's two classes of scientists, one doing pure work, not really thinking about mundane worldly things, the other one focused on profit and products. I don't think if we look back at history it's a distinction that held up. Many of the people that we think of as being very pure scientists who are doing very fundamental research were actually at the time very much interested in real problems that were concerning their societies at that time.
As the financial situation has tightened and the funding that we have available has inevitably reduced, it has been essential to identify those elements of our research base which are really internationally leading and ensure that we both maintain that excellence but also get the right people in with the right resources at the right time to ensure that the research is great but it also meets national capabilities and national requirements.
The move to sponsorship that the EPSRC is undertaking is eminently sensible. It is in fact a concept that is already applied in other major such institutions, for example the NSF in the US, or in fact Wellcome here in the UK, but to a certain extent you see this in Germany with various institutions over there, and that in fact it should very much be seen as a way of maximizing the effectiveness of the research base.
The world research environment is changing. And you can see that in the huge rise in science in China. In my own area of nanotechnology, you can see this massive explosion, first of funding into science in China, and then the product of that in terms of outputs, papers coming out of Chinese laboratories. So there's no doubt that the balance of power in the world shifted. We don't have the same weight of resources that countries that are much bigger than us with much bigger economies have to throw at science, but I don't think we should underestimate what we can do.
A further theme that is essential to our future is that of developing leaders. Developing leaders is about identifying those individuals in our research community who really can set the research agenda, who can inspire the communities that work with them, and who can help us really set that research agenda.
We now need not only the leaders who can keep the team together, but we actually need leaders who can get out and really sell a very exciting message.
We'll be not only just identifying them, we'll be working with them, we'll be nurturing them, we'll be ensuring that in fact they're provided with the skills which will strengthen their ability to do that.
As funding gets harder to get, as research proposals get more challenging to put together, they need more people contributing to them. There's leadership in the form of making a team work together, there's leadership in the form of making sure the project management works, there's leadership in the form of keeping the team or a dispersed team very focused on delivery.
What's important is that younger scientists flourish, develop their own careers, set out new, exciting areas of research that really do make a difference to the problems that we're going to have as a society over the next, between 10 and 50 years. People are actually expecting a lot from science at the moment, and so it's good to be challenging to deliver to that expectation. But I think scientists, the universities, research councils need to work in partnership to meet those expectations.